Hello there, I'm Colonel Failure, and this is Workers and Resources Soviets of the Republic. And this is the name for my pain. The pain name of the pain name is the Failure Gravel Processing Plant. Now, it doesn't have very many workers, but actually it doesn't need them. So you've just seen, look, quarried stone's coming in. We're going to unhitch all of that quarried stone. Unhitch? No, it's entirely the wrong word. We're going to process all of that quarried stone. In no time flat, it's going to turn it into gravel, and just as it empties, the next truck should turn up. Now that's great, but obviously when my workers go up, I spend time with this not doing anything because it hasn't got any quarried stone left. You kind of go, oh, it's almost working. You kind of go, no, it's not almost working. I use a lot of gravel. We use gravel in like 3-4 different places, and I'm having trouble making that work. Meanwhile, if you hop across to where these trucks are actually coming from, I've got 470 tons of the stuff just kicking around the joint. And then when you follow the belts up the hill here, I've got trucks that are queuing up to unload gravel. Now, all of this could be solved, I hear you cry, by simply routing a belt straight into here. Except there are no belt inputs to here. Not one. There isn't a single way you can input any flipping stone into the stone mangling plant, which is a real pain in the bum. I've got a solution, however, and you're going to want to stick around until after the intro to see it happen. Okay, now the solution in question is that it just takes a very long time for trucks here to actually reach full load. Here we go, there's an empty one. Where are we? I mean, look at the speed at which this is loading up. It's not exactly quick now, is it? Now, so what you want is an aggregate loading bay here, which I've got, which is fabulous, and that would sort the whole problem out in no time flat, because it would load trucks quickly enough that they would be quickly shuffling backwards and forwards, shuffling backwards and forwards between the loading bay and the unloading that we've got down here. The only downside, of course, is that I can't actually wrap any roads in to reach there because the whole area is just a complete mess. So I've been umming and ahhing about it in that way that I so frequently do, and the best solution is to destroy all of it and build it out again. And I gave this proper consideration because not only have you got this lot here doing its thing, but this also links into that, and we got whatever's this, whatever that's about, and lots of all. It's a lot, right? There's a lot of complexitude hooked into that kind of business, and therefore I'm not going to do it. Complete waste of time as an intro goes, but it can be fixed at a later date. Once I've got the money up, rebuilding this kind of thing is exactly what I've got in mind. Now, I mean, because the other thing that you get that's problematic is our trucks here. They have to wait for ages to unload because the export is completely full. You're kind of going, just why are you doing this to me? So what I am going to do is this fella here, we're going to change his second stop. Now, it's not efficient, but we'll take him straight down to processing rather than aggregate unloading. So you here, no, unload, thank you. Wait until you're unloaded. This one, yeah, aggregate unloading, don't bother with that anymore. So he has to travel a little bit further, but it means that every once in a while we'll get a secondary load turn up from trucks. Yes. All this would be solved if this had a conveyor input, which it doesn't, so we can't do anything about that. And therefore, let us turn our attention to what we can work about. Work about, work on, work with. And honestly, I hadn't really thought about it beyond going, I'll sort out quarrying. And then I looked at actually what's going on with quarrying. I mean, you've got a cement plant here, which is flaming enormous. Now, I don't doubt that with a little bit of tactical readjustment going on here, we could get that sorted. But I don't want to do tactical adjustment. What I want to do is tear it all down and build it back up, but better. Because lining these things up so that they work correctly, I think historically I've been doing it in the wrong order. I've been doing front to back, right? So the first thing to receive stuff through to the last thing. Whereas I should be doing it in the opposite order, because that way it will link up better. Right, Good, there's that then. Steel mill's got no workers at the moment. And that's an issue because we do quite a lot with steel. Alright, we have today's objective. Today's objective, friends, is we're going to build out the workforce to handle iron processing and the panels factory and the steel works. There's nobody working here at the moment. I've got a good chunk of change in the bank. Dollars is up about 20k from where we left. We're back over the million in rubles, and as you'll see, it's ticking up quite healthily. And that's becoming more commonplace because we're getting towards being self-sufficient, which is absolutely super. We'll just do a quick stop here on the radio station. There's no workers here at the moment. It's waiting for concrete. I mean, that's another problem that we've got going on. Is waiting for the resources to turn up takes ages. And it's not that I'm slow on production of concrete. It produces at a reasonable rate. The way to fix that would be to get a couple more cement mixers on the go. You know what? I can afford some. Let's buy a couple more cement mixers. Source of gravel's not assigned. Source of this and that and the other's not assigned. Okay, well, concrete plant's not assigned. Well, let's do that at least. No, hold on. You have to do specify the building. Now then, do you know what the concrete plant looks like? That's not suitable. Oh, it's just going to turn green as soon as it's found one. Ha ha ha! There you go. Simple process of elimination type business. Right, and you need a concrete mixer. No problem. Yeah, have the T138 there. There you go. Spent some of my winnings on getting another concrete mixer supplying. I could do more beyond that, and obviously, if I'm going to switch to paying for my own buildings, using the resources that I've built up, then I will want to staff up more construction offices in due course, but not today. No. Right, let's get to work. Enough preamble. In fact, you've used half the video up on preamble, but I suspect that some people have come to expect that kind of behaviour. Okie dokie. So, we've already got some electricity plumbed in, but I'm probably going to move that. Anything you build here now, you're likely to tear down again, unless you give enough space. One of the things that's interesting is that we've got the opportunity to do rail shipment in and out of the steel mill, which is worth consideration for later. Yeah, what's actually going on here? This is the panels factory. Just needs workers. Can't export or store it. Oh, and that's because we're not using the panels. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's go for building our own. Let's get up our prefabs here, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. So, if we want, I'm thinking this inner circle here, and we'll just do it in a way that means that when I come to bulldoze it all later on, we won't shed too many tears. Or maybe I make this really pretty. Yeah, I haven't really decided yet. Before we do get citizens, yeah, we want to get citizens, but I will randomly move them from existing places. We have the majority of the in-town buildings are at full capacity, so that means just spreading them around a bit shouldn't prove to be too much of a challenge. Now, I make all of that stuff, so it's just going to be an issue of whether they have to wait until the whatchamacallit, the radio station is done. Right, there you go. Let's line up. Well, we'll just keep going until there's no more space. God, that's exciting. Well, yeah, it might be. You never know, we might get some work going on here. I think if I built one and didn't assign them to... Yeah, if I pay for one without assigning them to a particular gig, then I will have nearby workers who might be able to assist with actually getting the rest built. Okay, well, that's a bold scheme. It's fairly bold. Alright, okay. But is it bold 2 in 1? Don't cheapen it by making, senseless commercial references. There you go. Yeah. That's a good chunk of workers. Now, they're probably a little bit too far from over there, so we'll bang in some more workers. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah. We'll sling some in over here as well if it's flat enough to comply. Now, do you want to flatten the terrain? No, I don't want to flatten the terrain. Go on, flatten the terrain. We haven't got a free anything at the moment. So what you're saying is that this area was actually flat enough for you to work with immediately. That's unheard of. Right. No, keep it going. If we keep going around the corner, then we should get close enough at some point so that people can just stroll into one of the many opportunities for employment that we have in the area. No, it's not flat enough. That's disappointing. Go on, you can get in there. It looks fairly flat. No, you haven't got any flattening lads on the go. All right, well, hold on. That's flat enough. Well, what are you thinking about with that? Oh, I've got no idea. But we're going to do it anyway. There we go. We're going to turn this into a recreational path-based paradise. Yeah, that sounds nice, doesn't it, though? Right, that's that lot. Now, we also want... we're going to give them all the resources they could possibly desire. So we'll have the small store here. Let's get it as close to that one as possible, because I am likely to run out of space. What... Yeah, I make all of that, so that's good. Groceries, they're going to want some groceries. We all want to gross. That's a little bit further away. Can we not... You've not really built... Oh, what? There you go, stick it in there. Okay. You also have a direct forklift approach there if you wanted it. To be honest, I don't think that people are necessarily going to get overexcited about forkliftery. No, they're chewing on a lump of steel is not really going to keep them fed, watered, or otherwise up to speed. Now then, here's kindergarten. I mean, obviously, if I were to remove some of these power lines, we'd have no trouble here. I mean, I'd have to stick power lines back in again, but no, hold on. Out the back of the cement works. That's not cement works. Out the back of whatever gravel-based processing area that this is. Beautiful. You're going to want a school. And I still make all the materials for all this stuff. That's great. If you would sit here, that would be absolutely terrific. I might even pay for this one directly. Yeah, let's just get it in. How much is it going to cost? Do we care? Oh, no, hold on. Pay for the flattening. Yeah, because that's going to cost 12 grand, and then we won't pay for the building. Oh, you're sinister. It's not sinister at all. Right, there you go. Good. Now, I reckon this lot should be finished building sometime before the turn of the century. But once that's done, we should have plenty of workers to make all of this just absolutely sing. And that will be absolutely brilliant because steel is our major output at the moment. It's our primary source of income. When it comes to rubles, anyway. For dollars, our primary source of income is electricity. Fine by me. Right, resource status. Let's see what we've actually got in the pipe at the moment. Let's get rid of anything that's in transit. Now, we've still got 155 grand's worth of steel in stock, but that's only 330 tons. If you look at oil, however, look at that lot. 2,000 tons of oil just sat there waiting for magic. And coal is similarly situated, having 800 tons just kind of lying around, making the place look untidy. I would imagine that my coal situation and power has now largely resolved itself, given that we're auto-ordering any time we run out. Now, the smart thing to do is later on do exactly the same thing for clothes and goods and electronics and food and all of that kind of business. And a way to get away with doing that would be to have a central warehouse like this. All of my producers port into the central warehouse, but the warehouse is on an auto buy. And then from the warehouse you then distribute to all the various shops and what have you around the place. Perfect. How much work is that? Just enormous amounts of work. It's something I am increasingly finding myself looking at and going, oh, is the opportunity that would present itself by starting again. Yeah. But no, I'm too stubborn for that. I'm going to stick in and make this work. Let's have a look over at Kohlberg. I think we're going to describe this as a review episode, aren't we? I think we probably are. And once again, we've got a queue building up. What exactly is the problem? How many people we got working here? 12. But that's perfect. You haven't got enough coal ore coming in, which means that the problem is up here in Mining Central. Right, here we go. Mining Central, 16 workers. I've got 5 flipping buildings up here, and you're all told to go work at the coal mine. What are you missing that will make you happier? Right, you can't visit a church. No pub. Ah, no pub. Okay, well we could probably fix the pub. We've got the food situation dealt with. We've got clothes and electronics dealt with. Yeah, there's no kindergarten place. Well, that's less of an issue. 2 citizens were unable to get electronics, food, meat. Well, step outside your front door and go to the shop, you lazy gits. Can we get a pub here? I think drunk mine workers will help us out immeasurably. Pub. Right. We'll pay for this because otherwise we'll end up waiting an absolute hellishly long time for the construction crew. They're busy. Oh, there we go. We can build the pub out the back of the mine. Okay. Done. It was flat already. Do we need to connect that up to the road? Probably, but not necessarily. I'm paying attention to whichever fool it was. Says, nah, don't bother connecting it up. For the most part, you don't need road connections. People are absolutely fine to get there, just going on foot. All right, well, let's put that to the test, shall we? Do you have electricity? There's no cellars available at the moment. Well, I'll tell you what, let's assign a couple of the people from here to work here. Okay? I think 50% is possibly overkill, but we can certainly drop that down a little bit and still maintain. We only need 1 member of bar staff after all. And the pub's active. There we go. So that's going to keep a few more people able to actually go to work. Because all it comes down to is just having enough people churning out coal from the mine here, and the mine is not actually the most efficient one there is. The quality of the source is only 20%, but that's still more than enough that I need for me to be able to accomplish what I need to. That's plenty. You know, we bang 100 people working in here, so we're kicking out 70, 80 tons of coal a day. That's loads. We'll be able to do cement and power and all kinds of things with that magic. How's that doing? So I measure the success of the coal mine now by the length of the truck queue. Because if we're producing adequately, there should be a maximum of 2 vehicles waiting for pickup and no queue. Because the distance is long enough that just works. Right, I'll tell you what else we're going to do while we're in the area. Since I'm fed up of flattening this bit for a while, let's reassign a couple of these chaps. Because we do need the bulldozing out this way. There you go. You've headed out there. Now, sticking them on a flatbed means that you spend an awful lot less time waiting for them to get somewhere. But in all honesty, I'm not. That's a lot of micromanagement. So I'll just send them out this way. But the bulldozer army is something that we're going to be making use of on a frequent basis. There you go. Yeah, that's it. That'll do. 3 should do the trick. Right. Have we got any progress happening over here, chaps, or are we still entirely waiting? This was the first one that we built. You're missing mechanisms. I need to buy some more mechanisms. Clearly. Concrete, gravel, asphalt. Right. Okay. That's it. I'm investing all of my new money into further mechanisms. Ooh, okay, all right, okay. Now then, which means that we need. Should we get a bus on the go? No, we've got 1 bus, and that's doing enough to get the job done at the moment. Aggregate storage, okay. Gravel. If I want gravel, where can I get it from? You can get it from here. No, they never have any. You can get it from here. Okay, yes, get it from there. Right, okay, and asphalt. Where's my... The asphalt thing is somewhere a little bit more remote, if I recall. you can tell I've not played enough of this to actually recognise what the heck each building is yet. You know, every episode of this that you've seen represents pretty much every minute of this that I've played. There you go, it's all the way down there, but that's fine. Concrete plant, okay, we found that a minute ago. It's over here somewhere. It's that one. Okay. Yep, keep going. Steel. Yeah. Well, that's there. That's easy enough. Bricks. Where's the brickworks? I built one, and I built it quite recently. Yeah, I thought it was, and I was right. Okay, prefabs. Yeah, you are over there, and boards. Oh, I tell you what we should be doing with this. You should be going over here. Go and get it from the storehouse rather than going direct. Mech components, electrical components we don't have yet. You need a concrete mixer and a dumper truck. No problem. You can have both those things because I'm feeling buoyant. There you go. Have one. And a dumper truck. What do we think about the GZ53? I'm not sure that's one that I use on a regular basis. What about the W50? What does that do? 4 tons versus 3.5. It's not quite as fast. I think we usually go with the Kaz. 12 tons. Yeah, alright. Have one of them. Alright, cool. And I'll tell you what, we'll double up on those. This is going to drop me below my below threshold. But only for a moment or two. No, we're still above threshold. Alright, now, the thinking there is that by ramping up the number of chaps that we've got available to work, we'll actually get some of the work done a little bit quicker. How are we getting on over here? We've got one worker at the moment, and we're missing concrete in order to continue with the groundworks. 215 tons of concrete, so you're looking at least 15 to 20 truckloads of concrete to turn up and get that done. The work days is obviously the biggie here, but that's the least of my concerns. Until you've got the parts in place, we've got 66 tons of gravel, 95 tons of asphalt. You know what? I'm going to buy another couple of dumper trucks for this chap. Are you? Yeah, I am. We're gonna make you a dumper specialist. All right, Kaz. How do you feel about getting to work? You're blowing your budget there, amigo. That's okay. The budget takes care of itself now. What happened to the hard limit of we don't spend to below 1 million in the bank? All right. Well, you know, if I'm recording an episode, I think it's perfectly respectable to be able to, you know, maybe do a little bit more. I don't think that's unreasonable. Where are you going? What's your caper? You're taking 6.3 tons of prefab panels back to the factory, presumably because the warehouse is currently full. It is. Yeah, see, that's why I wait till to unload. Also, boards we're almost out of, and that means that over here in... no, that's not Lumberjacking Central, that's over here. Lumberjacking Central is not working. You do have some out for export, though. But what's your problem? You are load or unloading wood cutting post. That's there, yes. And then this is the sawmill. Load and unload. Yes. What are you waiting for then? You've got 6.7 tons of boards. There are 17 tons here. What, my friend, is your problem? You're waiting until you've unloaded. But they don't want boards. Let's not. Just, no. No, you see... I see you're waiting till you've unloaded wood. Well, you had unloaded wood, but you were actually waiting until you'd unloaded everything. Oh, foolish. Yes, very foolish. You load boards, yes. Unload wood. There you go. So you've now got 12 tons of boards, no wood. You're going to go and make a delivery. Excellent. Well done, you. Okay, well, I've got that working again then. But these chaps are also short a worker or two. And you've got to pick a worker or two, boys. You've got to pick a worker or two. There you go. So a little reference to Oliver Twist there. Or Oliver, exclamation mark, the musical. Right, okay, now, that's going to wrap it up. Next time, I promise, I will have a dedicated mission that we will attempt to fulfill. If I had more money, which I will have, if I'm just patient and I left it for like 3 years of game time, I'd probably have an extra million to play with in order to do something radical and overnight. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to continue tinkering for the moment, because every time I ease something forwards even slightly, it has a knock-on effect that improves life across the board. So you're going to have to tune in next time to see that happen. I've been Colonel Failure. Subscribe to this series if you can be persuaded in that direction. Where are my bulldozers? I would have thought they'd have caused a queue of traffic by now, but maybe they already turned up, which would be a shame. Oh, hold on. Where's he going? Right, hold on. We'll follow you as our end of series, end of episode cliffhanger. Where is the bulldozer going, friends? Subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the... Oh my God, I'm saying making such a pig's ear of this. Making such a pig's ear of this. Next episode. Laha, like video. Bye-bye. Cheerio. The temptation to etch a sketch this town is significant. However, I'm going to stick with it because I've formulated an idea, a notion. It's going to take me a little while before I get to it, but I've got a winning scheme, and it integrates with the rail line that as yet has not been fully realised. If I ever run out of schemes, you'll know that the world is coming to a close, people. As long as there's an idea, there is hope. And where there is hope, there is mirth, entertainment, and a slightly strange smell. Anyway, I'll be back with another one of these pretty soon, and it would behoove you to hit the subscribe button and ensure that you don't miss out on that, because you wouldn't want to. No, you'd really like to keep up with the series, and therefore subscribing's a good plan.